welcome to day 3 or the last day of Directions EMEA after a nice party yesterday in the Otterkringer Brauerei. That was nice, and I have here with me Søren. Søren is the CEO of One Click Factory, and you also gave presentations. You were also sponsor here, also award sponsor together with QBS. So Søren, let us know what was the highlight that you had for today.
So I think, beside of course that next year Directions is in Milan, if you haven't seen that yet, that is always a highlight. I think that's what's keeping people for the last session, to hear that. It's actually also interesting that Directions is putting everything together with Directions Asia and Directions US. There will be a new community site. It's called Directions for Partners. I thought that's pretty cool, and I guess they'll keep the presentations there and other content for partners in the future. Very, very nice things. Yeah. So I think the Directions is moving forward to becoming a more and more professional event.
Yeah.
And I liked some of the things, and I think we'll talk a little bit about the panel. But it seems that Directions really understands that they are an organization by partners for partners, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I saw that very clearly today.
Yeah, I talking about the panel. That was part of today's keynote session. Was a panel of partners. One that represented the technical side, one that represented the VAR side, the ISV side, and then sales and marketing. So any highlight in terms of feedback that they gave that you would mention?
Yeah, so Rhys, as usual, was a bit controversial.
Yeah.
I love him for that. He said several things, but the one that kind of sticks out in my mind was that he goes, I've for years been looking for the person responsible for methodology. So there used to be something called SureStep, and it kind of seems to disappear on the priority list of what Microsoft does. Who is the person responsible? We need new methodology, more rapid methodology to implement what's going on in the cloud, and it doesn't seem anybody owns it in Microsoft. I thought that was a very thoughtful input in the discussion.
Yeah, and I took two. I think one was coming from the ISV community side to say, well, Microsoft, you need to really give us a roadmap, a longer roadmap than just okay, this is going to happen in the next 2 months. A bit more strategic, a bit more around, okay, what will happen to some of the architecture. And so that is, I think, good. And then I also like the comment that Microsoft should really look at their partner and customer base as a joint effort that all these partners have established. Sometimes it seems like Microsoft is only pushing, okay, now you need to go to the cloud, and almost like with a baseball a bat trying to push partners in, and partners are the ones that keep the customers happy, and if the customers don't want to move as fast, the partners accept that, and Microsoft should do as well, because the joint success is built on these partners taking care. Yeah. So I found that was really good feedback in that panel.
I think on the roadmap, I think there was not only a technical discussion, there was also what is the commercial roadmap in the sense of licensing and other kinds of things that ISVs need in order to be able to perform that they feel they're lacking currently.
And there was also, I think, a good discussion around profitability. So they have now a new profitability study. The last was done in 2012. Now they have one for 2019. So I encourage you to take a look at this new website, Directions for Partners, because they will publish that study there. And there's some, I think, some good highlights. I think one that I found interesting is that meanwhile people are making more revenue with subscription, or partners making more revenue with subscription than they do with perpetual. So that train has finally left the station. And also that when you look at subscription, cloud subscription, the partners in the Dynamics ecosystem make even more money with Office than they do with Dynamics, which I found quite interesting, right? Yeah. So it was a good study. Anything that you took out?
No, yeah. The one I did take out was that it seems that the EBITDA, the profit of partners in general, has come up a little bit over since the study was done last time, 2012, I understood. I think 1.5.
It's now 7.5.
Yeah, which is it's
going in the right direction.
Yeah, it's going. Yeah, let's put it that way.
Yeah, exactly. No, so I encourage you to take a look. There's really some interesting data, and I think the most interesting one for partners is if you become part of that study the next time, because then they will benchmark you with your peers. And I think that is probably very insightful, that you can benchmark yourself and you can draw the conclusions how you're doing against your peers to see what you can learn.
Yeah, I agree.
So with that, I think the conference will come to a close, and we will go back home for a weekend, probably a weekend with more sleep than what we had during the week here.
Hopefully, I would say.
But all in all, I would say it was a good week. You agree?
I totally agree. I think it's good to see progress in all areas, and it's even though we are not at the final destination in the cloud, I still think Microsoft's making progress in all areas, and that makes me feel good about the future.
Exactly. So the momentum is there.
Yeah.
Thanks, Søren, for joining us. And with that, I hope I see many of you, if not all of you, at the QB Shares that are coming up, where we will, of course, talk a bit about the content of Directions and the future Directions. With that, have a great weekend and talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.